It is the Friday night before the 51st running of the great American race, the Daytona 500. And Trackside Live is right in the middle of the party at the Daytona International Speedway.
Here we come, white flag, bail out, 1 to go.
White flag, 2x2 behind you.
Strap down the big TV. He's gonna go for a ride. Newman was trying to get help from the other blue Dodge. Now he's got it. Toyota on the inside lane, Dodge on the outside lane. Who's gonna win it?
Here's your belt. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. God dang it, we're gonna win this thing, guys. Awesome. He's looking low, you guys. Awesome, man. Awesome. Woo! Yeah, bud. Great job. Ryan Newman, you are the pig. Thanks, Dad.
All the emotion, all the prestige, the glory that comes with winning the Daytona 500 on display. Daytona 500 champions past and present. Great crowd here outside the Daytona International Speedway. And they are ready for the 51st running of the Daytona 500. Glad you're with us at home. Steve Burns, Jeff Hammond, Larry McReynolds, and Darrell Waltrip. All three of these gentlemen Daytona 500 champions.
I won the Daytona 500. I won the Daytona 500.
20th anniversary for you two guys.
Yeah.
1989.
And this is the Daytona 500, by the way.
Yes, it is.
This is the Daytona.
This is it, isn't it?
Guys, there's something else I cannot believe. The crowd is here. You look behind us right now. Our fans from everywhere. I'm talking about from England, from Arizona, from Canada, you name it, all 50 states, and I think about 20 countries, they're represented here right now.
33 countries.
33. I'm glad you got me straightened out there. And we love you. We really do. I'm telling you right
Thank
now,
you for being here
you're
tonight.
what makes this show so special.
And you know what? Dick Berggren said it great in practice the other day. There's been a lot of negativity, a lot of gloom and doom, and we are ready to race.
Yes,
and there is
we
a
are.
lot of spirit in that garage
These
area.
people are ready to see a race.
Hey, they were playing the song a minute ago. You know, let's party tonight. Let's get it on. We're ready to rock and roll. These fans, I mean, they're rocking out. They're ready to get it done, aren't we? All right.
But you know what, Steve? We've been talking about, of course, the Daytona 500, and I was actually talking to Chad Canals. The 48 team won this 500 back in 2006. We certainly know that every weekend, every race, it's hard to win. If you don't think so, just ask Jeff Gordon, Matt Kenseth, drivers like that. But this Daytona 500 is a tough race to win. When you look at the last 11 Daytona 500s, we've had 10 different winners. We've had 7 different winners in the last 7 races. And when you look at the last 2 races, the guy that was leading when he took the white flag did not lead when they got back to the checkered flag. It's a tough race to win.
Do you know how many races there were last year where there was a lead change for a win on the last lap?
One.
And you know where it was?
Here.
We just saw the
That's right. That's the only pass last year for the win.
And you know what's so good about it right now, guys? We haven't had, you know, all the winter to talk about it. But since we've been here in Daytona, we've had 2 outstanding races. You could not have asked for more excitement than the Budweiser shootout on Saturday night. The duel yesterday that we had in those first and second races were unbelievable. When you look at the starting lineup and the way everything's shaping up, this Daytona 500, baby, I think is getting ready to explode. You got Mark Martin, the veteran up there on the front row, along with Martin Truex Jr., who's looking to get his first Daytona 500 win. But look at the second row. Jeff Gordon and a guy who was lurking last year, Kyle Busch. I mean, this thing is getting bigger and better. Row 3, guess what? Tony's back.
Oh, yeah. But how about Jeff Gordon in that 24 car? The first time that he has been to victory lane in any kind of a race since he won at Lowe's Motor Speedway in October of 2007. First time Ella has ever got to go to victory lane.
I was going to say, that is so reminiscent. In 1989, Jessica was a year and a half old, and she was in victory circle with us, and I saw Jeff grab little Ella last night. What happened? Oh, man.
No, Ella is no longer on the screen.
Oh, man, what happened? I thought they were booing the poor little baby. I said, wait a minute.
But
That's a tough crowd.
We knew all three of the Joe Gibbs Toyotas there, right up there in the top 10 by virtue of the way they finished yesterday in the dual races. Even Joey Logano, really proud of the way he ran in that first duel, finished in the 4th position. Even though we did only had one Toyota, I think, even in the top 15 on qualifying day, those 3 Gibbs Toyotas are right up there in the middle of them when they drop the green flag on this 500.
Before I go to the Advanced Auto Parts, who's on tonight menu? You saw at the end of last year, Larry got real proud of his Crimson Tide, and he wore his Bear Bryant hat.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You going to do that in Gator Country?
If we'd have had a little more success against the Gators, or Utah, I might add.
Utah.
Yeah, you know, what can I say?
Hey,
They asked me, did I bring my hat down there, and I said, no, I've got a new coach, kind of cleaned the coach out and left the Bear Bryant hat, the houndstooth hat, back at the house. The hat has...
there you go. There you go.
Hey, guys, no. Number 2. That'd be number 2.
Hey, all I got to say is you a brave man.
I know what my A stands for. Advanced Auto Parts.
Advanced Auto Parts. Who's on tonight menu? Look at the Daytona 500 champions with us. Ryan Newman, the defending champion. Coming up next is Kevin Harvick. He won it 2 years ago. And NFL superstar Randy Moss.
Trackside is brought to you by Bank of America, the official bank of NASCAR, where you can get a choice of NASCAR drivers on your check cards and credit cards. Brought to you in part by Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com for a free video. What will you discover? Go RVing. And by Verizon Wireless. Call more people, use 0 minutes. Only on America's largest mobile-to-mobile calling family, Verizon Wireless.
Trackside Live back at the Daytona International Speedway. Spectacular weather. Don't forget the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series follows us here on Speed as our coverage of DirecTV Speed Weeks continues. Now, saw Kevin Harvick. He's ready to come out. But listen, we talked about Rutledge last week. Was he in? Was he
Oh,
out?
gosh,
I mean,
don't.
Whoa,
Wait a
hanging
minute.
out with
he
you.
never brought that long wait back.
No, he never came back.
Well, now wait a minute, Darrell. You know he came back, and unfortunately, we saw him, and it was at the golf course the other day.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Far here after 14 holes. Can you believe that? How many times I got? I'm a good driver. I know you are. Hey, Rutledge, hurry up, man. You're holding up the game. Hurry up. Come on. I'm coming, fellas. Come on. I had a great time. I'm here. Wait up, guys. I want to be on the show. Wait up, fellas. I'm coming. There we go. Right behind you.
Has anybody seen him since he was on the golf course?
Desperate.
I haven't seen him or my golf clubs.
I mean, it ruined a perfectly good round for Darrell.
Yeah, we couldn't finish the game. We got on the green. We had no clubs.
Well, somebody who is not desperate is Kevin Harvick, a Daytona 500 champion, and he joins us here on Trackside Live.
How's it going? How are we doing?
Right down. What'd you bring?
How are you guys?
You bring us gifts?
I did bring you some gifts.
Oh, wow. I was kidding,
Yeah.
but you may have.
Yeah,
here.
looky there. We got some free gas for
Oh,
you guys.
thank you so much.
And we got this new card that Shell's come out with, the Shell Saver card. You can go to shellsavercard.com, and it basically hooks up right to your checking account, so you don't have to pay any interest when you put gas in your car. So cool way to save on some gas and save 5%
He put
every time you fill
all
up.
the cards in his pocket.
Thanks,
there.
pal.
There you go. I'll let you
Thanks.
pass them out. You're in charge.
Thanks.
How many cards did you bring?
You took them all?
He put them all in his
Every one of
pocket,
them.
Kevin.
Oh, you brought them one? I thought you brought them all to me.
Oh, no.
golly.
Hey, just,
Well,
for the
okay.
record, he did the same thing when David Starr brought us the male enhancement pills.
Hey, wait a minute.
That was pretty good.
That's not right.
But
He's gonna have to get-
unfortunately, it is the truth.
He had bigger
Hey.
pockets that night, right?
Hey, Jeff,
yeah.
there's your card. Steve, there's your card. And Larry, here's our card.
Hey, that may not be right, but I know what was right. The other night, Budweiser shootout, the old 29 car She only led one lap, but she led the right lap. You are living proof. Never give up at Daytona.
That's right. It's I tell you, these Shell Pennzoil Chevrolet guys, they did such a great job putting that thing back together. I kind of got squeezed in the fence there, and the thing really got tight, so I just kind of fell back there the first part. Came in, put all the fenders back on it, and put it back together, and then I got stuck behind your brother on the apron when he had a flat tire or something, and I lost the draft. And they had a caution, and we were able to make it back up through there. So.
And it'd been a while since you'd been to victory lane.
Yeah, the All-Star race was the last time. So.
Okay, so where did you start when you won the Daytona 500?
34th.
And you know, and
started 27th in the shootout.
I'm just telling you this. I love you, man. You know it.
Where do we start
but
this week?
That's the worst starting spot of a Daytona 500 winner ever.
Let me tell you, ever since my whole racing career has started, I've always started in the back. And I guess here's probably why that happens. Is because my dad used to make me start at the back. I'd qualify good, and he says, you're never going to learn how to race if you don't know how to pass.
Oh, Dad was pretty smart, wasn't he?
Good thing he's making up for some bad qualifying.
That's right.
but you know, there is a time that you can kind of get over that. You don't have to do that your entire career, you know.
I know. Yeah, well, I hadn't got over it yet. Me and Burton are struggling with the same pill, I guess. I don't know if it's the same one you took, though. I
didn't take any pill.
He doesn't forget, does he?
I gave mine to Elliott Sadler.
Made him taller.
Well, the question I got for you right now has to do with the fact your owner, you know, you're being an owner like you are now in the Campion World Truck Series, Ricky Carmichael. I know why you got Ron Hornaday driving for you. I mean, he is the man. He is just the man when it comes to racing trucks.
He's the old man.
Well, he still gets the job done.
That's right.
But the thing right now, what made you decide to go after Ricky Carmichael now? Because you're getting ready to go down here just a little bit and watch him debut here basically at Daytona.
You know, last year I was sitting there on the pit box somewhere, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, we've got a really strong championship contender with Hornaday. When we race trucks, we race it to win, but we race it to have fun, too. I enjoy the truck series. I enjoy being a part of it. So I didn't know whether I wanted to run the second team or what I wanted to do with the second team. And I'm sitting there at Loudon, and I'm watching this Campion World East race, and I'm watching Ricky run because, you know, we'd been introduced by Clint Boyer and just kind of had gotten to talk a little bit. And I'm watching him run. I'm thinking, man, you know what? That guy does a pretty good job. And I thought to myself, I said, you know, what if we tried to put something together to see if we can help speed up his career? I mean, he's 29 years old, and he wants to do this. He's got the drive and determination to do it. And he's got the mindset to do it. So I want somebody like that in my truck. If we go tear a bunch of truck up, I don't care. I mean, it's, you know, that's part of it. That's going to be part of his learning curve. I mean, you don't want to wreck.
Well, he's off to that kind of start, so I'm glad you don't care.
But it's one of those deals where he's a really good person, and I believe he can do it, but he needs the right stuff and the right people around him to do it, and hopefully we can do that.
I guess we're going to go to break, right?
We are. A lot more Kevin
This man in our ear.
That's a great question. But
All right, we'll have more with Kevin Harvick coming up. Meanwhile, to locate campgrounds near the Auto Club Speedway, visit GoRVing.com. You'll also find virtual RV tours, a free DVD offer, and RV dealer and rental locations in your area. It's time for another racing question from Ask.com, the official search engine of NASCAR. Which Cup driver has also won IRL and USAC championships?
Oh, that's easy.
Don't answer. Hang on. If you want the answer now, go to Ask.com. We're NASCAR fans. Go to get the answers. Ask.com, the official search engine of NASCAR. What's the answer, Harvick?
Stewart.
yeah, he ran second yesterday,
All right, then.
or third or fourth, wherever it was.
Check your notes.
Do you have a good question for him?
I did. No, you know, one of the things that, like, you've run 15 Daytona 500s. You finished 14 of them.
I've run 15?
You've run 15 Daytona 500s.
No, I hadn't run 15
He's
Daytona
run
500.
15 races at Daytona.
I'm
At
with you.
Daytona, I'm sorry. And you finished 14 of them.
Well, I think that's a
Notes do you have?
Yeah.
your notes. He stole your notes, Larry.
He has been running.
He set you up to fail. That's exactly right.
He has a 15-point starting.
But I know where you're
position.
going with that.
Go ahead and
Maybe
help
if
me
you
out.
read it.
That's a huge credit to RCR.
I think it's a typo.
And you know, that's something that Richard has preached, and Larry can tell you this. That's something that Richard preaches from the time that you say go at RCR. It's all about finishing races, and in order to have a chance to win, you got to first finish. So that's just something that was kind of installed in us from Richard.
And your daddy probably taught you that too, didn't he? And
Well, we didn't have enough money to fix our cars, so if we wrecked, we couldn't race next
had to
week.
fix it yourself.
Yeah, and that.
Jeff, he's sitting there with 80 consecutive races without a DNF. That's pretty phenomenal.
At Daytona?
Including Daytona. Including Daytona. Several of them.
It does say Daytona races, by the way. That's good information.
Are you commentating tonight during the truck race?
No, the other Waltrip is.
Oh, okay. Well,
The bigger Waltrip.
I was making sure you weren't taking these notes with you.
No, these are actually very good notes. I just don't have my glasses.
Well, that bills for that, too. Anyway.
Hey, what is with you guys?
Hey, Kevin, I kind of hate to bring this up, but I know it's something that you're very passionate about and trying to keep it straight. As an owner also, working on a drug policy for your company, because again, we've heard so much about it here lately because of other sports and things that are going on. But I know your company is one of them that has really, kind of like buckled down and said, hey, zero tolerance, boys.
Yeah, when all this stuff first came out about the drug testing policy, and I started getting into it, I realized that our company wasn't really up to snuff. So we went home the week after I found that out, and we said, all right, how are we going to set up this policy? And man, there are some laws that you got to understand when it comes with all this drug testing stuff.
Yep.
So it's a really, really touchy subject, and that's one reason why it took NASCAR, as long as it did, for them to really understand how they could do things. But I feel really good about where our sport's at. Our company, obviously we do the drug testing as a pre-post-employment accident, or not post-employment, but pre-employment and accidents and random testing once a month. So, the way that NASCAR does it now, you can't get your license unless you pass a drug test. I think that's great. And I think it's, to the outside world, that this is a clean sport. And it was, as you can see, it was very, very clean even before we took all the drug tests.
Kevin, I was reading the advance notes on the Daytona 500, and I wanted to ask you about one of your quotes. You were amazed at how winning the Daytona 500, I guess, A, changed your life, or B, how many people knew about it. Give us some examples of, like, odd times when people have brought it up.
Well, it's just, if you get introduced to somebody and they don't know anything about racing, they know about the Daytona 500. And to win that race, and Darrell can tell you this, or you guys all know this, it's just, I knew when I pulled into victory lane and I saw the look on Richard Childress's face, I said, that's not the same look that I've seen on that guy's face 40 other times. I said, this is a pretty big deal. And that was the first moment that I realized that the Daytona 500 wasn't just another race. But that's the best way I can put it into words. And Richard's only been able to win it one other time with Dale. And to go to victory lane that night and just see all those flash bulbs and see Richard's face and kick off our new sponsorship with Shell was something that you'll never forget.
That's amazing, because that's exactly what was rewarding to me, is seeing, it's like a dad watching their kids open up their presents on Christmas morning, watching the look and expression on Dale and Teresa Earnhardt and Richard and Judy Childress, because I don't think we documented enough. When we won the 98 500, Richard Childress had been coming here for 30-something years as a driver and an owner trying to win that 500.
Hey, Larry, show them right quick. These are things, and what you just said a minute ago, to me, I think kind of sums it up. It changes your life. It doesn't just change your career, it changes your life. You can go anywhere you want to, and it's the same thing as winning a Super Bowl as far as that's concerned.
And that club of people, from crew chiefs to owners to drivers, you look at that list and you go, wow, those guys are pretty good.
You got that right. That's a tight little fraternity.
That's a tight
right
fraternity.
There.
That's exactly right.
Well, Kevin's going to stay with us for one more segment. We'll also be joined by NFL superstar wide receiver Randy Moss. Trackside is brought to you by Wrangler, proud sponsor of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
Hey, Rutledge. Yes, sir. You forgot these. Count these with that. Then when you're finished, all of it back in the shoebox, back in the closet, back in the coach. Yes, sir. You keep that. Keep the change. That's for you. Yes, sir. I'm on it right now. 20 for you. 20 for me. 20, 40, 60, 80.
The problem is I can't find the shoebox yet. That was a few days ago. So I've got
you forgot to tell you to put it in your coach.
it's in some coach in a driver.
His shoebox and our golf clubs. Steve, I don't think it was a good idea. You brought this guy on our set.
I brought him?
Kevin,
Well, I
we
did.
sent the man after a long wait. He hadn't come back with it yet.
No,
Well, that might not be a bad thing.
No, it isn't.
You bring up a good point.
Just leave him gone.
We've considered that.
Hey, right after Trackside, we know you're going to stay tuned here on Speed for the Camping World Truck Series season opener. One of the owners competing against Kevin Harvick is NFL superstar Randy Moss, 4-time All-Pro wide receiver.
Hey, buddy.
How you guys doing?
Good to see you, man.
Pleasure to meet you.
It's
Nice
a
to meet
pleasure,
you.
man.
All right.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Same here.
Sir.
Mr. Hammond lowered your chair to kind of help our situation. That's
When they said they wanted me and him to be the same height, so how do we look?
How do we look?
You got to you'll know something right quick. It's all about him.
I learned that from you.
I watch this show a lot, so I know the fans behind me can really vouch for me for this one. But you guys have a good time on this show, man, and y'all keep us tuned in to NASCAR, and we love watching this show.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Randy.
You know, Randy, normally I ask questions that I really feel like that the fans want to know the answer, but I really want to know the answer to this one. What was your interest in NASCAR, and had you been following it closely for several years?
Well, I grew up in West Virginia, very backyard in the country, and you know, we had a lot of dirt tracks, a lot of drag strips. So I was really into racing, but not been around that circle yet. So when the opportunity presented itself for me to get into NASCAR, I didn't know which level I wanted to start out on. Financially, I was told to start in the truck series. So I think I just wanted to start out at the bottom, you know, give me a great group of guys working around me, with a young guy, Taylor Mousom, and old vet Mike Skinner, especially in this truck series. And we have a lot of good things happening for us this year.
You came to the right place if you want to make a small fortune, but I'd say he's going to have to start with a lot.
I can vouch for that.
Kevin will tell you. I'll tell you.
I think for me, I got one question, Randy. What's been the hardest thing that you haven't expected coming into the sport? I know what I would say, but I want to know what you think coming into
Did
the
you
sport.
read my notes? That was my question.
I read Daryl's.
Oh.
Are those yours? Those
Yeah.
must be your notes.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the hardest part for me was to really understand the sport and the terminology and the business, because in my profession, I've been doing it my whole life, and you know, stepping out of my protective zone and coming to NASCAR I was really uncertain and really nervous, you know, stepping into this business. So I think the more I met people, you know, such as Earnhardt Jr., talked to Joe Gibbs Racing and his people, I think that, you know, I felt like, oh, I can do this thing. So, you know, we're still, like I say, start ourselves at the bottom with the truck series. We're still trying to gradually work our way up, and you know, by starting the season off here in Daytona, man, I think I'm very excited along with the fans here behind us.
Well, you know, you got you a partner there in David Dollar. How is that working? Has he been your mentor as far as this, Randy, or have you been looking to somebody else that kind of, you know, has been educating you and helping you really kind of get on? You say you talked to Joe Gibbs' people. Anybody really stand out that really kind of helped you?
Well, I think that the most input that they really gave me was more in good luck and any tips that they may be able to give me and the team. You know, they're very helpful, and like they would welcome them with open arms. But I think for the most part that David has really been giving me a lot of input as far as how their day-to-day operation goes, because they're in Statesville, North Carolina, and you know, when I'm, you know, up in Boston playing football, that's how we somewhat, you know, keep in contact with one another. But I think for the most part, from last season all the way up to finishing Homestead, you know, David has been very helpful.
You know, Randy, this might not be an appropriate question. It's sort of a football question, but this is something that really bugs me. And then maybe you can help me out. Maybe you say, well, it's none of your business. But it really bothers me when I watch a football game and guys that got hair hanging way, way down out of underneath their helmet. Is that do you ever think about just reaching onto that hair and grabbing it and tackling them by that, or you think that's cool?
Well, I would love to tackle a guy by his hair and try to yank some of it out, but I think if you yank some of mine, it would really hurt. So that's you know.
Is that like, I never see anybody do it. I always thought, why didn't somebody grab him by the hair? Is that kind of like a gentleman's agreement, like some of the things we have?
Well, first of all, Troy Polamalu plays defense.
Yeah, he does.
He is a wide receiver, plays offense.
Yeah, but Daryl thought you were a catcher for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Hey, that's something, Daryl. I watched you my life run around this track, and you didn't even watch me one play.
Oh, no, I have. Let's see, I think, weren't you in the end zone making that catch with on your tiptoes?
I have over 100 of those.
100 of them. See, I knew it.
Hey, I got it. Daryl. Hey, DW, I got a nugget for you. This man and Jerry Rice are the only two receivers in the history of the NFL to have 100 touchdown receptions before reaching 150 games. How about that? And both you guys have been on Trackside.
Yeah.
All right.
That's some pretty good company there, my friend.
Well, I was just curious about the hair thing because I just wondered about it. I always like to get a little inside information to see if that was.
I think the first thing that we got to teach him is, all right, now you can go ahead and tell us about your new sponsors. You got to tell us about your new sponsors.
Well, Trackside Batteries is really, we had a very, very heartwarming meeting a couple months back, and I think that was really the explanation mark on our season with bringing in Mike Skinner and signing up with him. And I think that was really, to meet with those people from Trackside Batteries is really what stood out, just for the fact that Mike is well known in this sport, and Trackside has followed Mike throughout his career, and I think it was very, very helpful and heartwarming to know that Mike had brought his sponsors over with us, and I think with Taylor Mousom coming out of Seattle, the West Coast area, I think that is really by Mike being a vet and Taylor being a young rookie, that the sky's the limits for both of those guys, because I know when I came into my profession as a rookie that I looked up to the veterans, for positive leadership or any kind of input. And I think that Mike is going to help our team out just along with Taylor also.
Remind me during break to tell him about Skinner, about going to take that ball bat to him about once a week whether he needs it or not.
Yeah. Kevin, thanks so much for spending
guys.
time with us.
Appreciate it.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Don't leave me here by myself.
You're on your own, bud. Thanks.
Good luck, man.
Coming up next, Randy Moss and I are going to go to the Lazy Boy Lounge, talk a little football and a little bit racing with Trackside Live continues. Camping World Truck Series season opener is up next here at the Daytona International Speedway following Trackside Live. Great crowd on hand here, beautiful Florida weather. It's time now for the Lazy Boy Lounge, and I'm going to ask Randy Moss a couple questions. Randy, one of the things, people make comparisons to other sports, and Daryl, Jeff, and Larry would all say that these race cars don't build themselves, they don't drive themselves. I think the teamwork aspect is something that you can correlate to football.
Right. That's one thing that, when I signed on with David Dahl and his team, that's the one thing that I really wanted to focus on us working together. And then going out there and having a game plan and putting a game plan together similar to the way we do in football, and then going out there and executing that game plan. And I think that's really going to be how we approach this season, with coming out with a game plan and then going out there and executing it, like I just said. But I think that, for the most part, it's been a long time waiting. It was just a couple months we were in Homestead. And I think now that we're open up in Daytona, that not just only me, not the drivers, not the owners, but the fans, I could just hear how crazy they are out there. So I just think that it's a great thing happening for NASCAR. And I've always followed NASCAR. And I think that now, by me being an owner, that, I'm smiles every day I get to see this.
Got to ask you a football question. You guys had such a great year the year before last, and then opening day, Tom Brady gets hurt. Now, Matt Castle did a nice job, but how frustrating was it? You guys, won a lot more games than a lot of people thought you would.
Well, I think that, hats goes off to Matt Castle and his preparation, because I think a lot of people really had us, X'd out. Yeah, written off. And with Tom Brady and, my first year in New England, we done some tremendous things. We broke some records. We lost the last game when it counted. But I think anytime you lose a guy like that, of what he meant to the team and the organization, I think it hurt. But I think it's a hats off, a tremendous job by Bill Belichick and the organization by being able to overcome a injury from a guy like Tom. And one thing that they believe in Boston is chemistry, is team. And that's one thing that when I was making my decision on going to another team, that's why I wanted to choose New England Patriots, because they're all about team. And that's really what the New England Patriots about, is just team. And I can definitely respect that.
Randy, there have been other athletes or celebrities who have kind of dipped their toe into the pool of NASCAR, but it seems like this is something that you're serious about. And you talked about building from the truck series and perhaps moving up. Is it a long-range goal for you?
It is a long-range goal. You know, I've had you know, just by looking at the newspapers and looking at the television, you know, there has been some negative things out there said about, you know, me and my approach to NASCAR, you know, the financials and, you know, how I will be perceived and things like that. But I think in this business, man, if you don't really try and believe in yourself, that you're not going nowhere in this day and age. And I think when you have a great core of people around you, such as David Dollar, myself, and you know, Taylor Mouse and Mike Skinner and their guys, I think that the sky's the limit for our whole Randy Moss Motorsports team. And you know, I look for great things coming out of that motorsport.
Well, man, we're glad to have you. We hope it works out. By the way, happy birthday. Today is Randy's birthday.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday.
Hey, Randy, go short for me right there.
One hand.
How about that? Move over Matt and Tom on Larry Mack's in town.
All right. Thanks a lot, Randy. We appreciate it.
Let's sing happy birthday to Randy. Happy birthday to you.
Up next, Ryan
Happy
Newman, defending Daytona 500 champion.
Right.
Hey,
What
DW.
are you doing?
Just finishing up the wheels here. So just like you told me, start at the back, work your way forward.
It's not what I told you to start in the front and go to the back. First of all, I don't want you sitting here by my door. You're running off. I got a lot of important people coming over here,
sir.
and you're laying
Yes,
here
sir.
on the ground.
Yeah, I'm
Hey, did you get my cleaning picked up?
medium start, just like you asked. It's in the closet.
Front to back.
Yes, sir. I'll get on that right now.
Huh.
Thank you, sir. Don't worry. I got it taken care of. Front to back. Front to back.
Hey,
Still not here.
the simplest things can get so confused, but has anybody seen him yet?
No.
Has he showed up for work?
I want to see him, I can tell you that.
Your dry cleaning show up.
I haven't seen my dry cleaning. I lost my golf club, lost my dry cleaning.
He
What
lost
is
the
it you say,
shoebox.
your expression, you can blow up an orange sack?
Oh, yeah, that boy
like
could.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
All right, well, our next guest is the defending Daytona 500 champion, Ryan Newman.
Fisherman.
Uh-oh, he's got the fishing hook on the bridge.
What'd you call him? He won the Daytona 500.
No, he's a fisherman. Look at that. Got the
Fisherman.
hook right
I got the
there.
hook, yeah.
Did he win the tournament today?
No, I think I left. I had another
Oh, you
obligation. I left before everything was finished. I think we had second biggest fish,
Yeah, that thing
which
was
means nothing. But
pretty nice, yeah.
yeah.
Listen, here you go. This is Daryl Gwynn here, and what a great job Daryl does with this tournament, and everybody's out there. There's your boss.
Yeah, with Johnny Morris.
There you are, and I don't see
That
a
was a
fish
shiner. That
anywhere.
wasn't one of the fish we caught.
I don't see a fish anywhere, but there you are. Whoa.
That was Boris. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it's obviously we like doing things that can make a difference, and when we enjoy doing them, it makes it that much more fun. But I know that there was, I believe it was a little girl that got a wheelchair out of the deal today, and that's what's special about that, is seeing somebody smile and be able to be motorized back.
Yeah, it really is. And again, my hat's off to Daryl Gwynn. What a great job he does. Hey, you got to tell the people here tonight what you said about the guy that ran over you there. That may be the funniest thing I've heard in a long time. About,
well, I was thinking of something positive to say, and
Just couldn't get
I really
there,
couldn't get anything, so I tried to make a little bit of joke out of it, and I said Rudiman's a good name for him because he can root a man right out of the way. So, yeah, it just it turned me straight right, and you know, I had cleared him coming down, and he got a little run, and he gave me a push, and he told me afterwards, I apologized, but so that doesn't fix my race car.
No, it doesn't.
That was me, yeah, the 10-finger salute. They penalize you for a 1-finger salute, so we did 10.
He wouldn't even stop and pick you up. That ought to really
Don't
make you
even
mad.
go there.
He just can't get away from that, can't you?
No,
Larry?
just
Hey,
won't go away.
You made mention that you had another obligation this morning.
Yep.
Could it have been the Army educational program that you attended
Yes, it
today
was.
at 10 o'clock?
Yes,
I mean,
it
I
was,
thought
yeah.
that was pretty neat. You want to tell us about that?
Well, it was it's the first time I've really been a part of something like that where you try to inspire somebody and, you know, talk about leadership, talk about what it is to be Army strong. I'm not a soldier, so I'm not Army strong, but I try to exemplify what it is, and that's to be mentally, physically, and emotionally ready for your situation. And the U.S. Army soldiers exemplify that. And I was talking to them, a bunch of students, high school students that. You know, I remember being in a gymnasium. I wasn't lucky enough to get to do it at a racetrack. I did it at a gymnasium, and talk about what it you know, what it means to have leadership skills, and try to you know, tell somebody that, you know, they're being influenced right now by somebody that can hopefully make a difference and make them make the positive and right moves for their life.
Well, along that same lines, I think you got Sergeant First Class Samuel Potter is going to be with you this weekend, Bronze Star winner, Purple Heart winner. From over in Iraq that has done a lot of that leadership, taking a bad situation where he got injured over there and turned it into a positive deal. He's going to be a part of your team.
But before you answer, Ryan, I don't mean to interrupt, but I read the note. Sergeant First Class Samuel Potter, he's from Florida. He was responsible for 50 missions as a convoy commander and 80 missions as a lead gunner.
Wow.
That's a hero.
That's a hero. It really is.
Give the old boy a good hand here.
I'm glad he's going to be with you this weekend.
It means a lot. I said from the beginning, you know, to represent 1 million people that are out there fighting for our freedom, and you know, the heroes are the ones that we typically hear about, the ones that get injured and come back and talk about it. But every one of them is a hero in my eye.
Amen. Amen. Couldn't said it any better.
Good.
Now, Ryan, when Tony announced that you were going to drive for him and you were going to be his teammate, aside from the fact you're a great race car driver, everybody automatically said, well, it's because they have a very similar racing background. But you were sharing with Daryl and Mike and I the other day, you and Tony both, that really that didn't have anything to do with why you two guys are teammates now.
It's really the icing on the cake in my eyes. I mean, we have a lot of things in common, don't get me wrong, but we definitely look forward to being teammates, and for me to drive the U.S. Army Chevrolet and team up with him. And, you know, this is a great place. Like I said when we were talking about it, I'd like to redo the last lap this year from last year and put ourselves in a great
Both of you love the outdoors. Both of you are building a log cabin. I mean, there's so many things totally away from the racetrack that you guys have in common.
On top of sitting on a lake and fishing, which I'm sure we'll get to do quite a bit of.
We'll have more with defending Daytona 500 champion Ryan Newman coming up when Trackside Live continues. Larry Mack, do you think Tim Tebow is here, or Urban Meyer, or Percy Harvin?
No, but
John Parker Wilson.
Chris Myers is here. I don't know about Urban.
Coming up in a few minutes, the Camping World Truck Series returns to speed. It's a perfect storm of danger and speed. Camping World Truck Series live from Daytona Friday, that's tonight, 7:30 Eastern, only on Speed. Let's go for a quick update with Adam Alexander and Ray Dunlap.
And the theme in 2009 for the trucks is going to be change, including a number of rule changes for these guys here tonight, Ray.
Oh, it's unbelievable, Adam. The crew chiefs have a lot of decisions to make. They've got to decide whether they're going to put tires on or fuel. And when it comes to tires, you can go 2 or 4. I thought our job was hard before. It's going to get a lot trickier starting this tonight.
And the changes aren't just on pit road with the rules. They're as far as drivers in the cockpit as well. A number of drivers in new locations, including the guy that won the championship last year, Johnny Benson in the one truck. We look forward to bringing you the 2009 debut of the Truck Series. It happens right here on Speed at 7:30 Eastern Time. We'll see you then, guys.
All right, thank you, Adam and Ray. You see the trucks on the grid. We're back with Ryan Newman as we are underneath the tower right outside Daytona International.
Now, Ryan, Jeff talked about First Class Sergeant Samuel Potter that you're going to be meeting up with, but you're also meeting with a very special family from Minnesota, Steve and Christine, and you've been a big motivation and inspiration over a tragic incident that happened to them.
Yeah, I think we had gotten home from a vacation, and there was a box sitting on the doorstep at the house, and I opened the box up, and I saw this big, nice, fancy plaque, and I read the inscription that was on it, and I mean, I was really, really close. It takes a lot to tear me up, but I was really, really close to being teared up. And a family wrote a note about how they lost their son, and they dedicated a brick at the NASCAR Hall of Fame in memory of their son through me, and told me how I reminded them of their son just by the way I smiled. And And I'm like,
oh, man.
it puts a lot of perspective right there.
No kidding. That's great. Wow. You're going to meet up with them tomorrow.
We brought them. Actually, NASCAR Hall of Fame has done a lot to bring them down here, and I've never met them, honestly. I sent the fellow an email. I believe his name's Steve. Sent him an email and said, man, that was special. I cannot put it into words. I'm not at all good with words as I am with numbers, and he amazed me, and I really look forward to meeting the family.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that pulls at your heartstrings there. You know, Ryan, when I think about you and Tony both, I mean, Roger Penske, Joe Gibbs, I mean, that's the Mount Rushmore of racing right there. And that's been your boss in the past. How are you two guys how are you going to be able to get along without that without that mentor or that leadership of those two guys?
I think Tony would tell you the same thing, that realistically they're still there. I mean, Roger Penske is still a friend of mine. Joe Gibbs is still a friend of his. And as Tony has stated before, Richard Childress has said, you ever need anything, you need advice. And then obviously you have the Hendrick Motorsports connection with Rick Hendrick. So there is a defined family tree of help there. But as I've stated so many times, I'm just really excited to be a part of Stewart-Haas Racing, and I know Tony wants to grow his own family from within.
Yeah, Rick and Richard Childress, they could be the other two on Mount Rushmore Racing. So you made good choice.
This might be a dumb question, but are you still a Gillette Young Gun?
I am.
There's a whole bunch of guys that aren't.
Tell that. Look at his face.
You're one of the few clean-shaven guys in the garage area right
If
now.
not, he'd probably look like Tony.
Yep, Gillette's got we did a new commercial.
Yeah, but Tony's like a chia pet. He can shave when the race starts, and he's grown a beard by the time it ends.
He grows a beard during the race.
Gillette's got a new razor out called the Fusion Power Gamer. It's pretty wild. We talk about it in our new commercial, which is I think going to debut this weekend here at Daytona.
Well,
is that the guy that throws you down on the ground? Or the rest?
I got him. He didn't throw me down.
He threw him down. He whooped
okay.
him.
Harvick brought us gas cards. Where's our razors?
I'll work on that.
Okay.
I will make sure you guys get razors.
Well, more with Ryan coming up. Want to remind you that Trackside is presented by and brought to you by Wrangler, proud sponsor of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans. Stay with us in Daytona.
Larry's on a roll. You got any other things, like male enhancement things?
Trackside is brought to you by Old Spice, the official deodorant of NASCAR, by Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Comfort, it's what we do. And by Ask.com. Get the answers to all your racing questions at Ask.com, the official search engine of NASCAR.
Hey, Rut. Hey, Steve, how are you?
Man, how you doing?
Hey, good. I thought with it being Valentine's weekend and all, maybe you and the wife might like a night out in town, so I'm here to babysit Bryson.
Hang on just a second.
Okay, great, sure.
Okay, Bryson. Yep. Me and Mommy are going out. Rutledge is outside. Remember the rules.
I'll remember.
Don't let him drink any sodas.
Okay.
Tell him to take his shoes off because he'll stand on the furniture. He's going to want to stay up late. Don't let him watch TV all night. He has to go to bed at 9 o'clock, right?
Okay.
Now, if he acts up, what did I tell you to say to him?
Rutledge, you need to go to timeout.
I don't have such a good feeling about this.
I think it'll be okay. I mean, Bryson's in charge, and he's pretty responsible.
Hey, Bryson, can I have an apple?
No!
What about a banana? Can I have a banana?
No!
What about some of this granola? Can I have some?
Go to timeout!
Timeout?
Right.
Are you sure? Timeout?
Yes.
All right.
Yes!
Timeout. Can I get out of timeout now?
No!
But I gotta go to the show.
I'll tell you when to go to the show.
I gotta get out of timeout. The show's gonna start.
Guys,
it's not looking good.
Steve,
what are y'all?
Fellas, come on.
He lost my golf clubs.
Let's vote on.
Wait a minute.
Guys, hey,
There
look,
he
I'm
is.
behind you.
Oh!
I know you guys are old. You're not that old. I'm right here. Guess what? I brought a friend by. I hope that's okay. This is.
You're hired, baby.
You're in.
You did it. You did it.
You are now made of it.
Hey.
Thank you, Ryan.
Congratulations. Wait till 2009, though. Yeah.
Trucks are up next. Gator Country, Larry.
Gator Country. Gator
Up
Country.
next.
All right.
Gator Country.